what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy it. First off, LSU football gets a big 2026 commitment from the number one receiver in the country, Tristan Keys, 6'2", 185, the top player in the state of Mississippi, visits Baton Rouge last week, and then he ends up picking the Tigers over Tennessee, Bama, A&M, Miami. I mean, obviously, he's the number one receiver in the country, right? So it's the cat as a junior, 40 catches, 839 yards, 12 touchdowns, and it gives LSU the number one 2026 class. Now, here's where I think this becomes interesting. Well, real quick. I mean, first off, just with the actual commitment, like, good job. Good job to the coaches. Good job to the recruiting machine for getting a commitment. Anything to add there, I think, before we kind of explore maybe some of the, maybe not PTSD, but how you may actually feel about this.
Just the actual player before we get to what you're talking about, because I do think that's certainly part of the conversation. Number one receiver, right now. If you're a receiver in high school and you're looking around, and certainly if you're from the region, like Hattiesburg, there's a ton of LSU fans there in that portion of Mississippi. Like it's kind of a melting pot of fandom. There's not really just one team. So, he's seen LSU and probably grown up watching all the receivers that I'm about to talk about and Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase and BTJ and Malik. How in the world, if you're the number one receiver in the country, you're not that far from Baton Rouge, would you not want to end up and play for LSU? Just because, we just saw the contract that Jamar signed.
Yeah.
But like the four of the top of, no matter who you are, no matter where your biases are, there's four of the top 10 receivers in the NFL. I would say more like four of the top 8. But four of the top 10 at worst went to this school. You had the opportunity. So that part of it's no surprise.
Yeah, and who are the top 2 paid receivers in the league right now? Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. So, yes, you go on that visit. They inundate you with all the images and stats that Jake is talking about. You see the Jamar Chase news cycle. And as, when you see that path be so profitable to another, you say, well, why not me? So this is, again, Tristan Keys is a very good football player, and this is a big-time commitment. And now LSU for this 26th class, number one. Now, I think the other part of this, and I'm sure the one that many of y'all are feeling when you hear this news, is a bit of cynicism. And really, cynicism earned over the entire lifetime of covering recruiting, because commitments are never final until, they're actually on campus or that paper gets faxed in, whatever they do nowadays. But even especially after this last recruiting cycle, right, where you had the number one class forever, you had DeCorian Moore, you had the number one receiver committed for quite some time before that started to wobble. And then, of course, there's the Bryce Underwood drama, which arguably maybe ends up being a positive in the end, because what it did to NIL, LSU's NIL efforts, becoming this sort of catalyst for fundraising. But the point of this is, I'm very happy for the staff and for the recruiting machine that got this done. It is always a good thing when you are ranked that highly as a team like LSU is. I don't need them to finish number one, but you have to continue to finish in the top 10. I am still, though, not going to marry myself to Tristan Keys and he actually coming here. It's still a long way till that December signing day, and many, many things can happen before that day.
I will believe and get excited about Tristan Keys whenever he's in an LSU practice wearing LSU gear and officially official. That's just that, in recruiting, we've certainly been there before. But now I think we're there more than we've ever been before, because there's the opportunity for somebody to swoop in, change the math on how much you're going to earn. It's no longer, you having the conversations about it felt like home and it's family and it's this, that, and the other. I got a degree from there. That's just not what the conversation is. And I'm not saying right, wrong, or indifferent. It's just changed. So, like more than ever, until you actually show up on campus, just like with DJ Pickett, it's like, okay, very excited about him, but we didn't talk about him until like we saw him in the uniform, basically out there with the squad. And that's kind of, as far as the excitement level, we can talk about what it could look like, but I think the conversation changes when you actually have them sign.
Yeah.
And even then, you might have them for a year.
And we played Mansour Delane talking about DJ Pickett yesterday and saying, hey, look, whatever that 5-star plus crap is, like, he's that. So it's been very exciting getting to watch him step on campus. And I hope that's Tristan Keys as well. But again, I mean, whatever, at the end of this, Ole Miss is like, we'll double the offer. Or Texas is or something. Like, yeah. And so it's a long way to go. Exciting news. But we'll see where we're at in December. Very good start, though, right? Because on the other hand, you also just can't jump into the top of the rankings in December. Like, you have to be winning, getting these small wins that you stack along the way, and this would be a bigger win. But you have to build these classes over time, and LSU's doing a very good job of that, again, sitting at number 1. Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.